Verse 299. Conventional truth and ultimate truth, if there be a third, nonentity is its cause. The false imagination belongs to the conventional. When it is cut asunder, there is the realm of the wise. So conventional truth and ultimate truth, we need to be very careful. We need to be very careful that we don't start getting caught up in speculation here. So there are two truths, conventional and ultimate. What's the connection between the two? Isn't everything non-dual? Are we not lapsing into duality here by talking about two truths? What's the basis of the division into these two truths? I mentioned a book that I purchased recently called The Two Truths Debate, and this is what it's all about. It's completely missing the point. And this is reinforced in the next phrase here. If there be a third, nonentity is its cause. Because once you've got two truths, why not have a third one? Nonentity is its cause. In other words, there's no basis for a third truth. So let's get it quite clear. Let's get it quite clear. It's like a mirage. A mirage and what is not a mirage. Do we have two realities there? Well, we do, don't we? We've got the reality of the mirage and the reality of realizing it's not a mirage. What's the connection between the two realities, and so on? We're not inclined to speculate. The mirage has its own reality, but once we realize it's a mirage, it becomes nothing. There's nothing there. It's of no substance. The same with dreams. We enter into dreams. We get caught up in them. Then when we wake up, we realize they weren't true. At the time, they're very true. But when we wake up for them, they vanish, they disappear. There's only the one reality, the one truth. So in talking about two truths, do not objectify them. The question then is, how do we wake up to the one truth? Most of us, most of the time, live in what's called conventional truth, which is described here as the work of the false imagination. In other words, conventional truth is how we imagine it to be, it's how we infer things, it's how we understand things. And it's called false because it's imagination. It's reinforcing the point. It's imagination that's false. It's not true. But that's the reality most of us inhabit. And we're told in this verse that we don't move from conventional truth to ultimate truth by a series of exercises, by adjusting our lifestyle, by subscribing to certain beliefs, to certain gurus, to a certain religion, to a certain type of spirituality. That's not how you move from conventional truth to ultimate truth, how you awaken from conventional truth to ultimate truth. It must be cut asunder. This is what the verse tells us. You divorce yourself from conventional truth. There's no but about it. We come back to awareness. We come back to our sense of being. We stop letting our sense of being be siphoned off by conventional beliefs in a world out there or a world in here. We have nothing to do with any of that. We come back to suchness. As often as possible. We still have to operate within conventional truth. Conventional truth provides structure, a medium for consciousness to experience itself, but it's not truth. And this is reinforced in the next couple of verses. Verse 300. As to the Yogins, there is one reality which reveals itself as multiplicity, and yet there is no multiplicity in it. So is the nature of the false imagination. So there seems to be a lot of stuff going on, but it's like dreams. There's a lot of stuff going on in dreams. There's an apparent multiplicity, but it is simply a dream. A dream. And everything that we see that's going on, we can call it samsara, as conventional truth. Just as the Buddha realized when he was sitting under the tree on the evening of his enlightenment, and he thought back to a time when he was a youth, sitting under another tree, he had what we would call an enlightenment experience. It didn't happen under the tree as an adult, it happened under the tree as a teenager, and this is what he remembered as an adult. And the chances are we've had a similar enlightenment experience in our lives. We need to remember it, come back to it, validate it, appreciate it. Then we realize that this apparent multiplicity is not multiplicity, it's one thing. This is how the false imagination works. It falsely imagines multiplicity. We cut ourselves asunder from it. We cut ourselves asunder from the world and from our own psychology, our own mind, our own thoughts. And it's then that we enter the realm of the wise. Verse 301 tells us, as by the dim-eyed a variety of objects is seen and imagined, while the dimness itself is neither a form nor a no form, so is the relativity discriminated by the unknowing ones. And again, this is just making the same point. Those of us caught up, when we're caught up in conventional reality, we're like the dim-eyed. We're seeing things in the dark. There's just the darkness, but we imagine shapes in the dark. So it's not that the shapes that we see, the forms that we see, are made up of the dark. The dark, or the dimness, is not given to form. At the same time, it gives us no information to say that this darkness has no form either. Because the darkness, the dimness, is simply consciousness doing its thing and forgetting itself. This is when it's in a state of unknowing, discriminating the forms which arise within it and giving them substance. So we have to come back to consciousness again, or awareness. And this, in practical terms, is simply the attention. Bring the attention back to itself. Instead of putting it out onto things, out onto physical objects, physical people, mental objects, mental ideas, fantasies, beliefs. Let the attention rest in itself. and see if you can appreciate the beauty in this.